Is Deebo a team player? Like, is he really a team player? Or does he need, is his ego too big? I'm sorry to put it that way, but here's the way I look at it. Ever since last year's meltdown, I've been trying to figure out where he's coming from. Before then, it's like he would do anything for the team, right? That was his persona. You need to play running back? Whatever, 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 whatever. I'll do it for the team. Great. But then it was like, I need to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league. Well, you haven't really earned that yet. And then you held out. And now you don't practice in the offseason. And you say stuff like, well, I wasn't in the best shape last year, but now I'm going to be. You're not even the face of the offense anymore. In 2021, it all went through him. He loved it. He deserved it. Last year, he forfeited it. He fumbled that right. They brought in McCaffrey, and now it's McCaffrey's offense. And someday, this might be, at a certain point, I could pass him up too. If he becomes a second, third, fourth option, is he going to take that in stride because he's gotten paid? Or will his ego not allow him? Is this going to be could he become a malcontent at some point if Kyle doesn't keep giving him 9 touches a game that he hasn't earned?
I don't. When I look at Deebo, I feel like his priority was the money, and I feel like since he's got paid, he probably cares less about those things. And now maybe it'll resurface when he's on his last year in his contract again. But I feel like particularly this first time around, Deebo was balling out. One, because I feel like he's kind of like that dog mentality a little bit in games. When the whistle blows, right? Not in the offseason, unfortunately. But when the whistle blows, I feel like he is competitive like that. And also, I think he was going after that bag, that life-changing money for him. Now, if he's the third guy, I don't see him as a guy that really cares, to be honest with you. I think he'll be like, whatever, I'm making
See, that's my
24 million.
problem. I feel like he plays like a guy who doesn't really care anymore. Like the way he jogged through that ghost motion on the play action in Philly, like the way he plays when he's not getting the ball. If he knows that he's not featured in that game plan that week, what are you getting from Deebo? That's scary to me. You're giving this guy like $25 million a year, and he only really plays hard when he feels he's being featured. Like, that's the kind of stuff Odell Beckham Jr. used to do when he was in his prime. If you didn't give him the ball a lot in the first quarter, he would pout check out. And coaches were constantly in his mercy, like, I got to give him the ball. I got to give him the ball. I got to move. It's like, man, the Niners don't work that way. The Niners have a bunch of really good playmakers, and it's supposed to be like the ball goes wherever the defense isn't. Like, if you overcommit to stop Deebo, we're going to McCaffrey. Like, and you have to be okay with that. Ayuk's okay with that. Ayuk keeps his mouth shut. I'm not saying that Deebo doesn't, but Ayuk has been in this position for a long time where he's at the bottom of the totem pole and he can't really say anything about it. What if it happens to Deebo? Because frankly, he was the worst of them last year. If he's in a very talented weapon group. If he doesn't have his A game on, he doesn't deserve to be the top dog. And I don't think he is the top dog anymore. And how does he feel about that? He wanted to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league. I don't know.
So 2 things. You brought up Ayuk. I think you're going to see more of that from Ayuk this year because this is the year where he's going to get paid. So he's going to want the ball this year.
Ayuk gets more touches. A full year of McCaffrey. Where does that leave Kittle and Deebo?
Well, to Deebo's credit, he did come out and admit he was trash last year. That was his words. He was awful last year. And so I respect that accountability. And really, we'll see. I mean, the year before, he was amazing. It was a contract year. Then after he got paid,
right,
it wasn't there. So I don't know if I see him having an ego problem as much as like it's a motivation thing that he kind of lost when he didn't get paid. But again, to his credit, he took accountability. He says you're never going to see that from him again. So I feel like this is a year where he can prove that he's that hardworking, good teammate, and it doesn't matter if you pay me, I'm still going to come out and give you my best. This is the year.
Also, I want to see from him be like, it doesn't matter if I get 3 targets this week. Because they never treat him like that. They always force him the ball even if he's dropping it, even if he's not getting open. Sometimes he doesn't have it. Ayuk does, Kittle does, and it's just like not your week, Deebo. I'd like to see him be okay with that because I feel like Kyle almost treats him like,
He
like
should be okay with it now, though. I mean, he's set for life. His grandkids are set for life.
He should be.
Right. So now it should just be about winning a Super Bowl. That's all he should care about. He should be the ultimate teammate. And he should just, it doesn't matter how many touches you get. It's what you do with the touches that you do get when you get them. Right. And that should be his priority. So we'll see. I mean, this is the year we'll find out.
Josh Wyatt says, I see a huge range for this year's team. Everything from 13-4 to 14. 13-4 to 4-13 because you play out the best and worst case scenarios. Is the key really quarterback? Worst case scenario is you want to go first? Go ahead.
Wow. Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario is Brock doesn't start the season. He's on PUP. Kyle's not invested in either quarterback. They start off on a losing streak. Kyle uses that as an excuse and tanks. That's the thing about Kyle. Like Mike Tomlin will soldier through a season and find a way to win 9 games. Kyle will tank because I think he knows he's not going to get fired. So he's like, whatever. Brandon Allen time.
Worst case scenario is that Brock Purdy was a flash in the pan. That Trey Lance is a bust, like everyone says, or not everyone, but a lot of people say. And they don't have a quarterback, and they're relying on turnover Sam Darnold or Brandon Allen this season. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, the best case scenario for me, I know people aren't going to like it. The best case scenario is that the highest potential quarterback on the team that you drafted 3rd overall, Trey Lance, comes out and balls out. That's the best case scenario that I see.
Papa Phil says Kyle lost to a first-year coach against the Bears. Not just a first-year coach. That was his first game ever coaching. Robert Tuncap says Brock will not be ready by training camp, which begins barely 4 months after his surgery. Niners will not risk injury way too soon.
Yeah,
probably. Kyle's going to Kyle injuries on the way, says Papa Phil. It's basically my working hypothesis. Matthew Sanders says Kyle stepped in poop when Purdy saved the season. If not for the most impressive Mr. Irrelevant ever, the conversation would be very different today. Yeah. Jason Hagar says Kyle would never go to the Cowboys while Jones is alive. Wouldn't have enough control there. Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, this might be what he needs, but he's never going to go for that. Papa Phil says, y'all tripping. Deebo is an ultimate team player. He came back from injury for us. He cried when we lost. He actually cares.
I think it's TBD. I think it's TBD this season, Papa Phil. I think the first year when not his first year, but the year he really balled out, the year before last, it was a contract year, man. He's playing for life-changing money for his family, as he should. And then last year, we didn't see that from him after he got paid. He came in out of shape. He didn't look like Deebo. Now's the year, like you came out and said you played like trash. Well, put it all together this year, man. You got your bag. Show us that you care about the team, the Super Bowl, and he can do that.
I just feel he's a little immature. I think he showed it last year during the negotiation. I think he also has a little bit of an inflated sense of the kind of player he is. I think he thinks he's better than he is.
So
if Kyle Shanahan starts giving him the touches that he actually deserves, that he thinks he deserves, how's Deebo going to handle that? Because for the last 2 years, Kyle's pretty much said, hey, man, whatever you want. I got you. Right? Just be happy. But, like, that's not in the team's best interest anymore. Ayuk needs more touches. McCaffrey's better than Deebo. Deebo should be, like, the 3rd option on this team right now. Is he cool with that? We'll see. He could say it, but he'll have to prove it.
And something came up, too. Like, if CMC goes down, hopefully he doesn't, knock on wood. But if something happens to CMC, Deebo's going to be crucial again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway,
you got to be ready.
Got to stay ready. Ryan, good show. What you got going on the rest of the day, year?
I got a show tomorrow at 10 a.m. and Friday noon. Calling show Sunday. That's my schedule during the off season. Nothing else today but grinding, working, selling houses.
Grinded. Beautiful. Love it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back at 2:30 with Larry. Hold on. Please go back and look at the first games of the season. He scored the first touchdown of our season.
Okay.
Great player. Very good player. Ramilia Sports Report says regular season Deebo nice, but 3 NFC championships, 1 TD, 151 yards. Hey, man, Kyle needs to give him the damn ball.
Deebo's a ram killer, so I don't know if you should be commenting on that one.